Crouppen, uncovering the hidden history, pro wrestling patterns, and the stories behind the stories for unapologetic wrestling fanatics. He doesn't just watch wrestling, he decodes it.
Alrighty, folks, welcome to Wrestling on the Spectrum today, where we're going to talk about Danhousen coming out of the box and so much more going on, and how Cody Rhodes winning the WWE Undisputed Championship will affect WrestleMania plans. How are you doing today, Tony?
Oh, Brody, I am absolutely fantastic. Welcome, everybody, to Wrestling on the Spectrum. We are so happy to be here on Podcast Heat. This is our first episode as, I would say, an official sole member of the Podcast Heat family. We used to be on 590 here locally in the St. Louis area, but now we are live here on a Saturday, and we are going to be talking so much wrestling. And my name is Tony Patrico. You spell that Patrico.
Baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And of course, joined by Brody the Brain Herman and by Flyin Ryan Swingler. Ryan, how we doing this morning?
I am doing great this morning, man. Woke up, been sleeping in lately.
Oh, look at you, man. Look at this. The Bears are hibernating.
Gotta get those hours back.
Oh, you guys are hibernating, huh? Yeah, we're going to be springing forward here shortly. And you know what? It's great to have a lot of wrestling to talk about. And Brody, you have had one hell of a week, man. I mean, let's go back to last Saturday. We talked to the Queen and King of the Mountain, the Jarretts, here on this show. And then all of a sudden, I see Brody once again talking to the Jarretts. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I was. It was on the live reaction show this past Tuesday on March 3rd. The Jeff Jarrett story, Heart of a Promoter. You can watch it on the My World Pod YouTube channel. The Jeff Jarrett story, Heart of a Promoter. It was an absolute treat seeing the Jarretts. Jeff Jarrett promoting an event in his hometown of Hendersonville, Tennessee. It was so great to see it. He's such a consummate member of his community, and he means such a great deal in the state of Tennessee, and particularly Hendersonville, for all of the great wrestling he's given the state of Tennessee for all those years, but never promoted an event in Hendersonville per his father's rule. But it happened. It happened in 2025, and it was documented in such a lovely fashion. Cody Angle, Jeff Jarrett's stepson, Karen's son, Kurt Angle's son, was having video game sessions with Jay Lethal. It was so great to see that. I love the scenes. Cody was also on the live reaction show along with Karen and Jeff, and it was such a treat talking to those folks. And I love this documentary. I love seeing more of Jeff Jarrett, and I thought it was an absolute treat. I recommend watching it. It's the Jeff Jarrett story, Heart of a Promoter. It's on his My World Pod YouTube channel.
I think it's great because when we did get the opportunity to talk to the Jarretts last week, one thing that Karen Jarrett had said was that people are really going to love seeing not Double J, not, the Last Outlaw, but to see Jeff.
Yeah.
And it was really showcased. It's awesome to see him back in, his hometown, really giving back to the community. And also it's kind of interesting. And for me as a wrestling fan, it's actually fascinating to see the behind the scenes of putting together an event like that. And it's not just put the ring up, hire the performers, and then the event happens. There is so much more that goes into it. And to see Jeff be Jeff on that side of the ring as well is absolutely incredible. So again, give them the information and where they can check this out.
It is the Jeff Jarrett story, Heart of a Promoter. That is on the My World YouTube channel. It's called the Jeff Jarrett story, Heart of a Promoter. And you will get to see how Jeff Jarrett promoted his first ever wrestling event in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Now, I do have a little, if we have time later on the show, I do have a Beat the Brain that is kind of Jeff Jarrett central.
He's going to beat that. He's going to beat that right over the head like Jeff Jarrett beats over his opponents over the head with a guitar.
Yeah, that is very true. And I will tell you this, in putting this game together, as I'm putting it together, I'm like, he already answered that question. So I tried to dig deep here, but I think you're going to do very, very well.
It's fine
when it comes to the Double J Beat the Brain that we've got planned for later on today. Before I get too far into it, don't forget Wrestling on the Spectrum is brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. And Brody, I know you have something to talk about a little bit later that is very interesting. And if you are a wrestling fan and you are in the St. Louis area, trust me, you are not going to want to miss what Brody has to say. But you can get all the information about Brown and Crouppen by going online, getbc.com. Brody, Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so all I'm going to say is this. I went into this show with moderate hype. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Elimination Chamber in itself is such a cool match that you can't not be excited to see what's going to happen. It's a devastating structure. We have heard from superstars in the past saying that this is by far the most painful of all of the quote unquote, I guess you could say, gimmick matches. Like, this is the one that is very unforgiving.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, and I think the history of the Elimination Chamber has proven that. You know, there have been some pretty brutal matches. We've seen some pretty brutal injuries as well, real life injuries happen inside of the chamber. But that in itself creates that hype. But then going into this match, as we got closer and after we talked last weekend, I was super stoked for this pay-per-view. Before we dive into the matches individually, do you think that this PLE Elimination Chamber 2026 delivered?
Yes, I think it's delivered
that
for
didn't
in
sound
Chicago.
confident.
I think it's delivered for the
very
people in
confident.
Chicago.
Okay.
I think it's delivered for the people in Chicago. So I think if you're catering to the live crowd, I think it delivered.
So if I'm sitting at home and I'm in Des Moines, Iowa, this didn't do a whole lot for me?
Probably not.
Okay, well, let's dive into things. Let's kind of walk down the card. What match do you want to talk about
Well,
first
let's
here?
start with probably one of my favorite matches of the night is AJ Lee defeating Becky Lynch by submission to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship, first singles match she's had in over a decade. I enjoyed this match. Becky Lynch is a great heel with heel attitude and body language. Maybe her last night as a heel, and we'll talk about why later. AJ Lee won in Chicago, which was billed or adopted hometown, and CM Punk's actual hometown. They were both on the cover of the pay-per-view. You know, the pay-per-view poster, they were the couple prominently featured, AJ Lee, CM Punk.
Yep.
And they had the title change here because I think they felt like we need to give them something big, something they'll react to, something that they'll be surprised about. And she'll get a bigger reaction winning the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber rather than WrestleMania. And if it's going to be a rematch anyway, which I'm not sure about, then I think it was good for AJ Lee to win the Intercontinental Championship in her hometown.
I think from this match, and I think we called it here on the show, it was probably the best technical wrestling match on the card.
I would say Punk and Balor would be the best technical match.
Okay, I agree with you. I think both of them kind of did a little bit more, and I think Finn Balor in the ring, he puts on a technical
AJ Lee sells
masterclass.
great, though. I got to admit,
she does.
She's a lot of great sympathy.
She really does. So here's my question, all right, for you. With AJ now having the gold again in 2026, would you put this up there as one of the greatest comebacks in women's wrestling history?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's a comeback that she was gone for a long enough period of time where the fans actually missed her. Then when she came back, they were so excited to see her. And then having her win the Intercontinental Championship belt in Chicago, that reaction, it was perfect for what that particular venue was. If it was in a lot of other cities and a lot of other places, yeah, it's just another title change. But for it being in Chicago, it made it all more special. And I think that's why this meant so much and why they made the title change here in Chicago.
Do you want to hold off talking about Becky Lynch until we get to the men's chamber match? Is that why you want to hold off?
Yeah, a little
Okay,
bit. We'll talk about that in the men's chamber match.
Because I have a question about Becky Lynch, but I'll hold that until we get there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I agree. I'm kind of interested to see where this goes heading into Mania.
Would you have Lynch and Lee rematch at WrestleMania?
I think you have to. I mean, because what else are you going to build from now until Mania? What else would you build? And
I don't
of course,
know.
I think, now correct me if I'm wrong. Mania is still 2 days, correct?
Yeah, Mania is still 2 days.
2 days to fill. You're going to want to defend every belt, right? I mean, you have to at Mania.
Yep.
So what else? Who else are you going to throw in there? You would have to, if you really want to do something, okay, you want to build something that could pay off with a quick build, maybe now is when you introduce Paige back into the mix.
I've heard that suggested.
I would believe that. That would be a good one. Or, and I saw somebody suggest this, you have Trish Stratus come back again.
Yeah, but wouldn't you have to have a heel go after AJ Lee?
Maybe Trish Stratus comes back as a heel.
That would be interesting.
So I don't know. There's a lot, but again, I know you want to hold off talking about Becky Lynch and where she stands.
Yes.
So I'll get into that in a minute, but I think that's kind of where it's headed for Mania. I think that's where we'll see
rematch.
We'll see that rematch. I think again, those two can put on a good wrestling match.
Yeah, I think so.
And without story or not, and if people are sitting there going, well, she's going to keep the belt and blah blah blah. It still is going to be a good wrestling match. So I think that's something that you can bank on.
Do you think it was good to have the title change happen in Chicago, or would you have rather seen it at WrestleMania?
I think if you are going to switch the belt, you're going to put it on AJ Lee, you might as well do it in her quote unquote hometown.
Okay.
I think you get the biggest pop there. I think if, I just don't think that it would get the same reaction.
And that's why I think they did it.
And the same big bang like it did when it got, inside of the United Center. I think it worked out better.
Okay. And then we're going to talk about CM Punk defeated Finn Balor he defeated Finn Balor to retain the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
This is exactly what it needed to be. Punk needed to just all on offense. I'm wearing the Blackhawks theme inspired gear. I'm coming out to like Michael Jordan and Sirius. Is that what it's called? Sirius?
Yeah.
And he came out to that.
It was so cool.
That cool.
Was so cool, man. What a throwback. What an interesting decision, because, I think part of the pop for CM Punk is the same kind of pop that Stone Cold got with the glass shatter, the living color, the scratch of that guitar, the like static sound, that is kind of that glass shatter to me.
Yeah.
So to kind of do things a little differently, it was great. Before you dive into the match here, we're talking about the entrance. Do you make anything of the shadowy figure, or do you think that was just somebody that was in the background? I think
it was just somebody that was in the background.
Everybody loves to, in this modern era of the WWE, just break every little thing down. And people are saying it's Powerhouse Hobbs. People are saying it's this, it's that. I honestly think it might have been just a giant jacked security guard who just so happened to be in the background.
I think so.
I think so.
But this match, again, was tailored for the home crowd. If this was at any other place, it's just Punk beating somebody, and we didn't see a lot of action. And but in Chicago, it's exactly what they wanted to see. Every time when Balor was down and he kicked Balor, the crowd would get louder and louder and louder. That's why you do it. That's why you do this match. And I think Punk did a great job here. He needed to win. He got the win. Everybody knew he was going to win. We knew what the result was going to be. It needed to be just him showing dominance. You know why? Because he's going up against Roman Reigns.
Yeah, if you want anybody to believe that he stands one shot, he's got to start beating the hell out of people.
He's got to. That's exactly right, Tony. You have to show some level of dominance. And that's exactly what he showed in his hometown of Chicago, getting a big reaction. So this match works for Chicago, and that's exactly what it did.
I also think that WWE knew going into this that this match could have been a turd and still worked.
Balor's the right opponent, because if you're going to have somebody take the burial, why not it be a veteran who's a solid worker?
Yeah, that's my point. They put on a good match. It could have been a crap match and nobody would have said anything. Chicago still would have erupted, but they managed to put on a good match too, which I think did its job for what it was for us sitting on our couches at home. I watched that match. I wasn't mad. I knew what was going to happen. It happened exactly the way I thought it was.
Exactly.
And I wasn't mad about it because it was an entertaining match.
Because that's wrestling. That's what wrestling should be. That's wrestling. It doesn't need to be, everything has to be a surprise and everything needs to be unpredictable. Sometimes you need a champion that goes in his hometown, gets fed a veteran, and shows his dominance and kicks somebody's butt.
Okay, couple questions about the fellas in this match here.
Okay.
Finn Balor, inches away once again. Is the Judgment Day era officially done if they can't bring home the big gold? Like, when do they start going,
feels like it's kind of petering out. I guess if Liv Morgan wins the title at WrestleMania, it gives it a little more juice. That's what they're banking on.
Yeah, that's what the Judgment Day is banking on right now.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where, yes, I know he's in the Judgment Day, but this didn't feel like any sort of a Judgment Day match at all. Like, this felt
it wasn't about Balor, it was about Punk.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the thing.
I think Finn is the one guy that's in the Judgment Day that doesn't use the Judgment Day at all, for real. Like, as much as everybody else.
You know why that is, though, Ryan? And you brought it up a couple weeks ago. He's the guy that has to take a lot of pins and a lot of submissions. Yeah. And when you're doing that, you can't use the Judgment Day that often because he's not winning a lot of matches, but he doesn't need to. That's not his role on the team.
And I think if there is anybody on the WWE roster, he plays that role the best.
Yeah.
Because even though you can have Finn Balor lose night after night after night, I still believe every time that he comes to the ring, he's got a shot.
Yeah, he always has a shot with me.
You know what I mean?
He didn't have a shot in Chicago, though.
Yeah, we all knew this was a placeholder.
Right.
This was a placeholder match to show off Punk, to set him up as a dominant force so we can believe that there's a shot for him against Roman.
That's exactly right.
So here is the final question I have about Punk and Balor. Let's say, for whatever reason, CM Punk retains at WrestleMania. Who the hell is next up? Who is next?
I don't think
up?
he's going to retain at WrestleMania.
Okay. I'm wanting you to put your fantasy
Okay.
booker hat on.
Okay.
And let's say
who's next up for him?
Yeah.
I guess somebody in the division. I would go probably Logan Paul as a nice summer rivalry. I go with maybe if Breaker gets back healthy, I would probably pencil in one of those two names.
Okay. So that's your fantasy booker pick would be somebody from the Vision.
Yes.
Steps up and challenges Punk for the title.
Pretty much.
If they keep it on him. But you don't see.
I don't see it happening.
So do you think it's a snowflake's chance in hell, or do you think that there is a shot?
I think there's a shot that Punk comes out, but if there's going to be a title change at WrestleMania with one of the two titles, it's going to be because of Punk. It's going to be Punk dropping to Roman, and then they're going to do something where Roman holds the belt for maybe a long period of time, getting it to SummerSlam, and then somebody beats Roman to elevate a new star.
Okay. I don't hate that at all.
No.
I don't hate that at all. All right, so let's move into the next match here because I know now we're getting into the fun stuff, baby. We're getting into the real fun stuff. Tell me about the Women's Chamber match.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber Women's match. Rhea Ripley won, defeating Tiffany Stratton, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. So first who was eliminated, Alexa Bliss was eliminated by Kiana James. Mm-hmm. Kiana James, great physique, but somehow is the mouthpiece for Julia and felt like the odd duck in the match, but at least she got an elimination. Very good.
Dude, watching SmackDown yesterday, Kiana James is winning me over.
She's winning me over too.
Just like Lash Legend won me over. I'm telling you, I think she has a bright future ahead of her. She's still young. She's still learning. And
she's wrestling a lot more. They're letting her wrestle more.
And I think they need to start making her do more single stuff. I think they need to start breaking her away from Julia. I get it, her being the mouthpiece, but I think they need to break her away because I think she's got huge potential, man. She really does.
And maybe this match showed it. Raquel Rodriguez in dominant fashion, eliminating Kiana James and Asuka, and then Tiffany Stratton eliminating Raquel Rodriguez. Stratton, a bigger star than Rodriguez right now, just by a whisker. And then Ripley won the match, as we all predicted here on Wrestling on the Spectrum. We all called it.
Yep.
Rhea Ripley is going to face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I love the result. I think Ripley and Cargill, the person who can get the most out of Cargill is Ripley. And if you're going to have Cargill get a big her WrestleMania moment, it's good to have her beat Ripley at WrestleMania.
I agree. And I love this feud already because I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff on social media.
Promo, the exchange last night on SmackDown.
Yeah, the exchange last night. And then there is stuff on social media that people are, and again, we all know WWE, they love to blend what is, reality and what is not. And I'll tell you this right now, they are blending it very well with this because it seems
the great MJF philosophy of stating the obvious.
Yes, dude. Yes, that is exactly it. And it is so incredible to watch this because there are moments where even as a 40-year-old man who I feel like I've got it together, I look at this and I go, ooh, I think they might be really mad at each other. And you just kind of get drawn into it.
I thought it was great.
So to see them face off at Mania is going to be incredible. My question for you, Brody, is this. So Ripley choosing to go after the SmackDown Women's title.
Well, it wasn't by her choice because Morgan got to pick first.
Right. But her going after that. Now, I mean, does this kind of create a power vacuum on Raw? Like what are we looking at now with Raw?
You got Morgan and Vicaire at WrestleMania. That match is already set in stone.
But who else? Again, I did this with you with
sure.
Who else is there? Who's next?
If Morgan beats the Carrot Mania, then Morgan eventually is going to feud with Perez and Rodriguez at some point. So you've got those feuds down the line. And I think if Cargill just beats Ripley at Mania, they'll keep feeding Cargill opponents and have her just run with the belt throughout the year. Probably see Jade and Charlotte. Maybe they do something with Jade and Becky down the line, something with Jade and Tiffany again. They've got a lot more feuds with Jade coming down the pike, but they need her WrestleMania moment to happen. It's going to happen this year. She's going to probably beat Ripley.
What about Tiffany Stratton? Her lasting until the very end. Does this mean, or does this show that WWE still has confidence in her?
Yes, they still have confidence in her, and maybe they have her in a match at WrestleMania against somebody.
Gotcha.
It won't be maybe a featured match, but it could be on the lower mid-card preliminary, have her on WrestleMania doing something, but not involved in anything in the title picture.
Okay, so of the ladies that lost in this match, okay, so we're talking Tiffany Stratton, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, Raquel Rodriguez. Out of those ladies, who do you see having the biggest push, not only leading into WrestleMania, but, the remainder of 2026?
I would say remainder of 2026, I would say Raquel Rodriguez, of who didn't win. I think she's going to get a massive push. I just see it. She's going to get a massive push. And I do think she can win a women's championship by the end of the year.
Oh, wow. You think that she's going to have the gold?
I think she'll beat Morgan for the title at some point this year. I don't know when, but she's going to beat Morgan for the title at some point this year.
Will she do it alone, or does she have Perez in her corner?
Don't know.
Okay. I'm interested to see.
I'm interested too.
I'm interested to see the breakup and to see who stays with who. And if they just completely dissolve the whole thing, we will have to wait and see. But one more match here on the Elimination Chamber card. Brody, this one was a real fun match.
Surprising.
To watch. There was a lot of surprises. There was a lot of things that happened during this match. And I'm excited to dive into the men's Elimination Chamber match.
We know the winner was surprising here. Native St. Louis and the Viper 14-time champion Randy Orton won this match. Obviously, first off, Javon Evans was in this match. He was eliminated first. He entered first and eliminated all. He was basically in there to do that little spot with him, and then, hey, goodbye, you're done.
Yep.
And then,
which is what we called.
Yeah, exactly. He's just in there
to do a spot. Yep.
Fine. And whatever. I'm sure he was happy to be in the Elimination Chamber knowing him. Okay. And then Logan Paul eliminated LA Knight. Great. Continues that feud, whatever that is. And then Logan Paul eliminates Trick Williams. Okay, Logan Paul's getting over strong here. And I wrote down he's the only true heel in this Elimination Chamber match. They hate him. Don't like seeing all the baby faces feuding with each other. Needed more heat. And it did, honestly. And then Seth Rollins returns. He comes out. He's revealed to be the Masked Man. What a shock. That wasn't the surprise in this match, though. Randy Orton winning it was a bigger surprise. Then Cody Rhodes eliminated Logan Paul. Everybody thought Cody Rhodes would win. Drew McIntyre came in, messed that up. And Randy Orton comes out on top and is going to main event WrestleMania and challenge for the Undisputed Championship.
I think that you are correct in saying that the biggest surprise of this match was Randy Orton getting the win. And let's pretend, guys, just for a few more minutes, we don't know what we know, okay?
Yep.
It was shocking to see Cody take the pin. I honestly, when he didn't kick out, and I very rarely am like, listen, I'm an over-the-top guy. I'm a dramatic guy. But when I watch wrestling, it's usually a whole lot of like sighs and eye rolls for me because I look too much into it because of the show and everything that we talk about. When he counted to 3, I honestly went, like I gasped.
I
was shocked.
Do you know what it is, though? It's WrestleMania ticket sales being stalled a little bit. And WWE thinking, okay, we need a WWE Hall of Famer, some star power in the main event. We need a 14th-time world champion, future Hall of Famer. Let's stick Randy Orton in there. That's it. That's what we're going to do, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think there's any chance that he will win at WrestleMania?
No, zero.
Zero. Like you think Super Cody is just gonna just put him? Like,
we'll get into that in a second.
It's interesting. I'm gonna hold off.
Where's Fatu in all this too?
That's what we're gonna talk about down the line.
We'll get there because I have some thoughts and I have a big bold prediction that I want to get to.
Okay,
but something that did happen that was surprising, but I think a little less surprising was the fact that guess what? Your fellas here on Wrestling on the Spectrum called it once again.
Yep.
We are nailing these Masked Men predictions, but it was probably the worst kept secret that it was indeed Seth Rollins and a henchman group of masked men, but Seth Rollins, the leader behind all of the masked men, and he makes his return
Rollins
at
is now back
Elimination
as a
Chamber.
baby face, and they're going to have Rollins and Paul at WrestleMania. Okay. Not bad. It's a nice match. It's a nice match. There's no problem with it. It's got a lot of star power, got a lot of intrigue. I have no problem with it. I don't think there needs to be a title involved. Paul is a big enough star. Nice match for WrestleMania. I have no problem with it.
You are convinced that it's going to be Logan Paul.
Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing better would be Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins, but we're not going to get it.
Because, again, we know the internet wrestling community is a little unhinged at times, and we're okay with that. But I'm seeing reports that, and here's a little spoiler, Seth Rollins stomped Paul Heyman. We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
Is that Heyman's making a phone call and Lesnar will come out and it'll be Rollins-Lesnar at Mania.
No.
But Lesnar did the open challenge, so that's the thing. So
that's the
Seth
thing.
would
If
have
you're
to
going to
go
do
the open
Lesnar, it's I said this, and I said this to Ryan, but you weren't here, Tony. It's two things with Lesnar. Either Lesnar has the attitude of, I just want to beat somebody up at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And you know what? Just put anybody in there. I just want to beat them up. Or Lesnar can have the attitude of, hey, want to do business, want to put somebody over at WrestleMania. Let's build this thing.
Mm-hmm.
What Brock is it? That's the question.
Yeah.
Is it, okay, I just want to beat somebody up and win at WrestleMania, or I'm willing to put somebody over? Because if you're willing to put somebody over, there are guys that need to be put over. Brock can do that job. No problem with that.
Who are some of those guys?
I would put Oba Femi on that list. You can do it with Oba. You could do it with...
They had didn't Oba and Brock have a moment
they had a
at
little
the Rumble?
bit of a stare-up at the Royal Rumble. And I'd say LA Knight, Brock could always put over LA Knight. He probably won't, but I'm saying he's a name that could benefit from Brock Lesnar putting him over. I think everybody on the roster
happening.
Yeah, I can't.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I cannot see Brock Lesnar going, yeah, I'm going to put the guy that goes, yeah, over.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to happen. No, listen, and that's what I'm saying. It's what match Brock wants to have at WrestleMania will determine what Brock does.
Yeah.
So the answer is I don't think it'll be Brock and Rollins, because if they're going to do a match at WrestleMania, I think it's Paul Rollins. I don't think Rollins and Lesnar means anything. Who cares? We've seen it. It's been names. Overdone. It's just names.
Yeah.
It's just names. And if Brock's just going to beat somebody, then just have it be, I don't know, just have it be somebody. It doesn't matter.
Has Seth Rollins and Logan Paul faced off in a PLE before?
I think they have. Didn't they face off each other at WrestleMania? Or was that a tag match?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
My question is, like, okay, let's say that, we're verifying here that they did do that. Why are we getting it again? Are they two different superstars at this point in their career?
Because you don't have Breakker and Reed healthy, and he's the only name left that's a big star.
So this is the culmination of the Seth Rollins, having...
Seth Rollins is able to return, and Breakker and Reed are not able to return, and we feel that Paul and Rollins is a bigger match than Rollins in Theory at this point.
Okay, cool. So it's just kind of by elimination.
I'm telling you, I still think Austin Theory is a double agent.
He could be.
I don't
care.
I don't know. Do you still think, Brody? I know we talked about this.
I don't think he's a double agent. I think he's a part of the vision, and Heyman just likes him, and he can have great matches. So just have him part of the group.
Yeah,
that's his mentality.
My question for you is, and I know a couple of weeks back you said, you would give it an A. What do you give the Austin Theory return?
Still give it an A, because of all the injuries. He has to carry a lot more of the load, and I think that Austin Theory needs to carry more of the load, and he has done it while Reed and Breakker have been hurt. It's basically been him and Logan Paul filling that void.
Which I did not expect at all. Like, I did not expect them to start carrying.
But Heyman knows, don't add more members. Don't add more members to the group and make it like the NWO. Just keep it small. Keep it small. Keep it no more than 4 guys, and let's ride with it. Yeah, don't add more members.
I am interested to see how they continue to power through as these injuries, we don't know when we're going to get these guys back. So I'm very interested to see how they are going to, continue to adapt and continue to make the Vision a strong, faction, because it's tough, because you got the 2 big monsters not there right now.
Right.
And you need them to be that dominant force. If it's a difference between Logan Paul's in the match and Austin Theory runs down the ramp versus a Braun Breaker. There is a different amount of fear and a different amount of, okay, I believe this guy can just destroy everybody.
Right.
So it's going to be very interesting to see where they go with that. But again, I think the biggest surprise from the men's elimination chamber match was St. Louis's own Randy Orton winning and getting his shot at Mania. But Brody, speaking of St. Louis's own, there is an opportunity to see Randy Orton here in town. And I know you've got some really, really cool information that you would like to share with some folks. And don't forget, guys, like I say that when WWE comes to town, okay, when WWE comes to town, it's not just a wrestling show that comes to town. It is an event, and it doesn't matter if it's SmackDown or a PLE. It's an event. And Brody, I know you've got some info for some folks. Hit me with all the info.
That's
on how
right, ladies and gentlemen. WWE SmackDown giveaway. That's right. Ready to Rumble, St. Louis, April 3rd at the Enterprise Center at 6:30 p.m. That's right. Enter to win 2 tickets, free parking, and a $150 WWE gift card. That's right.
Whoa, slow down. Time out. So I win. If I win, I don't care if I'm eligible or not, I'm still signing up. If I win, I'm kidding, by the way. If I win, what do I get? I get not only the tickets.
2 tickets,
okay,
free parking, and a $150 WWE gift card.
Dude.
Oh, my.
Whoa.
There's a lot of great merchandise to be had. This is going to be at the April 3rd SmackDown event at the Enterprise Center. The event starts at 6:30 p.m. Let me tell you how you can enter. Go to bcraffles.com. That's BCRAFFLES.com.
Dude, absolutely love it. I mean, you had me at free parking. That alone is worth going to bcraffles.com and entering in to win. Again, that is for SmackDown coming to St. Louis at Enterprise Center. Not only do you get 2 tickets, you get free parking and a $150 WWE gift card. get some shirts, get a hat, get a belt. I mean, this is a great opportunity for you to go check out some wrestling. You know, I love, one of my favorite things to do, Brody, is just me and my 9-year-old son going to a wrestling event.
It's great.
It's awesome. It's the coolest father-son moment. You could take advantage and do so for free by, again, Brody, give him the website one more time.
That's right. It's bcraffles.com. That's BCRAFFLES.com.
I love it, dude.
BCraffles.com.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And that would be a cool little, like, a surprise for your son. And,
be great.
And you know what? While we're talking about surprises here, there was, and this is something that was, again, I think possibly the worst kept secret, but there were some people that were hoping for some changes. But Brody, we found out what was in the box at Elimination Chamber.
Things are getting very nice or very evil. That's right. Danhousen came out of the box. Anything that came out of a box is over, possibly. Danhousen, for those who don't know, obviously has a defined gimmick. He sells a lot of merch. He wears face paint. He curses people, very nice, very evil, and has a jar of teeth that he handed to Michael Cole. This is all part of his gimmick. It wasn't altered in any stretch of the imagination. If you're not familiar with Danhousen on the independent scene, or you've never watched AEW, and this is the first time you've ever seen Danhousen, it's what he does. They haven't altered his gimmick at all. He sells a lot of merch. He has a defined gimmick. This guy has a defined gimmick, mostly known as a comedy wrestler, not really known for his in-ring prowess. A lot of people don't think he can wrestle. And a lot of WWE fans did not react kindly to Danhousen's arrival, citing that he's an indie goof, and pretty much this is too indie for them, and he has too much of an indie mindset and can't hang with wrestlers on national TV and a WWE ring.
Here is my question. You said a couple times today already, this match was great for Chicago. This match was perfect in Chicago. This debut was awful in Chicago. I think you open up this box in 99 cities and it works. You pick the one city and the one moment that I don't think it worked. And we kind of heard that on the broadcast. I mean, there were some cheers. People were excited for Danhousen, but Brody, we heard some boos as well. It was not a favorable reaction.
It wasn't a favorable reaction, but they're going with it. Paul Levesque says things are going to get fun. They're going to get fun. And they're sticking with it. They already have him interacting with the Intercontinental. Well, he was the Intercontinental Champion at the time he interacted with him, Dominic Mysterio. He cursed Dominic Mysterio on Raw, and that curse maybe led Dominic Mysterio to lose the Intercontinental Championship to Penta. And then
look at Ryan.
Maybe he curses The Miz on SmackDown.
Ryan's got head shakes going on. You don't like that?
Mad when he lost, man. I love double champ Dominic.
I loved it.
But Penta deserves that win, though.
Penta deserved the win. They need to do something with Penta. They're doing something with Danhousen. He's Intercontinental. He's already reacting and interacting with the Intercontinental Championship. He's hobnobbing. He's doing stuff. They are pushing Danhousen to the moon, and they're just convinced that he's going to be something.
Okay, so you keep saying they're pushing him and they're doing something and they're doing this. What's Brody's thoughts? What do you think?
My thoughts on this. This is not a case where the wrestler can just say, oh, WWE's not utilizing me. They've changed my character. No, they've not changed your character, Danhousen.
Giving you a shot.
This is on you. You know who's going to determine Danhousen's success in WWE? Danhousen. Yep. It's Danhousen himself, because they haven't altered your character one iota. Go out there, curse people, very nice, very evil, keep your face paint, have the jar of teeth. It's all there. You can do what you've done on the indies, Danhousen. It's great. We love it.
Do you think that we will be able to see in the WWE the tequila spot?
Maybe. They may allow it.
WWE could pay for the rights to use that song, you know?
Great.
Indies, it's a little tougher, or like, AEW I know didn't, but WWE, they could do that. So I think that would be interesting. I think fans would get behind that. Fans love to be involved in the performance itself. And I think Danhousen has a lot of opportunities for them to do that. I think
when does he get past the comedy, though? He has to wrestle at some point.
I do think the WWE fans are going to be a little quick to turn on him if he doesn't perform in the ring.
That's it. That's all. That's the right question.
They're
Danhousen
cool.
has to step up.
See, so I look at this as somebody like Santino Marella.
Do you know what happened when he first came into WWE? He won the Intercontinental Championship on his first night by defeating Bobby Lashley. That happened.
He sure did. And my whole thing is, and I know you are not a big fan of the comedy act when it comes to Santino, but like Santino could wrestle. I mean, he could.
Yeah,
could,
he wasn't
could wrestle.
bad.
He wasn't terrible.
He doesn't need to be. I'm not asking Danhousen to be AJ Styles. It just can't be dreadful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. Just hang. That's all I need you to just hang. You have enough of a gimmick that all you have to do is just hang. That's it. You can't be dreadful in the ring. It's on him.
Yeah.
It's on him. His success in the WWE will be determined by him. That's it.
How long do you think he has until it just fizzles out?
Great
I think he
question.
gets at least 2 years. They're going to milk this dairy cow for every last cent. They are selling merchandise, and you're going to like it. That's it. They are not deviating from this.
Do you think it would have been smarter for them to have him debut in NXT as opposed to WWE?
I guess.
Let the NXT crowd create that. Here's what, we know what his gimmick
but are
is,
they
but
paying
here's what
him
the
so
crowd
much
gets.
to the point where
That's
it
a
wasn't
great point.
appropriate to debut him in NXT?
Which to me, to be honest with you, and I have some personal experience with Danhousen, I think it's crazy if that amount of money was given to him to go to WWE. Don't you? I mean, like, that's a big risk. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm saying that's crazy
No,
that
yes, it is. That's
WWE
what you
would.
said.
No, I did not. I'm saying it's crazy for WWE to take that sort of a risk. They are not really known for taking those risks.
But they did here.
They did here.
While
which is
you've
surprising.
interacted with the guy, is it right for them to take a risk?
I think he is incredibly entertaining. And from what I have not only worked with him personally at Glory Pro, which, by the way, that match involves somebody else close to this show, your father, Brody.
Yes, he was. He was in that match.
I think, not only working with him there at that show, but also seeing him around Glory Pro, interacting with him at those shows, and watching his indie career and his AEW career, I think there is a place for Danhousen in the WWE. I think you are correct in saying that this all lands on him.
Yes.
Because there is no WWE is literally for the first time in a very long time going, we know what you have created. It has worked. Now let's see it on the big stage. And I just got to see it translate to there. So I think it's a little too early for me to say, yes, this is going to work. No, this isn't. But there is an opportunity for this to work. And it's all going to depend if the WWE universe gives it time to blossom.
Now, is it on, if the WWE fans become too highbrow, in your opinion, Tony, and they use the word indie in a negative manner?
I think there's a little bit of that. Because, again, we have started to see a WWE minor league system, and it's almost like who the hell is this outsider coming in? They didn't come through the system.
This is a comedy act that only works on the indies. That's what a lot of their fans think.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, on the surface, this gimmick works really well in the indies, and it might not translate on the WWE stage. I think a test to it was Danhousen got a huge reaction when he debuted for AEW. People loved it.
He didn't want to be in AEW. He said, nope, I don't want to be in AEW anymore. I want to go to WWE. This is what I want to do. This is what he wants to do. So his success is depending on Danhousen. That's it. Because you said, I want to go WWE. Great. Go WWE.
But
Get that money and go to WWE.
My question is, why do WWE fans like now act like there wasn't like back in the days of like early 2000s, there were gimmicks that were just super funny?
Here's what it is, Ryan. It's the high ticket prices, number one.
Yep.
Their fans believe this. And I knew a guy that was there in Chicago. He's going to come on the show very soon. He's like, I don't pay to see independent wrestling with these type of prices. When I'm in Chicago and I'm here to see WWE wrestling, I expect more than this. This is corny. This is ridiculous. And that's what a lot of their fans think. They want to see the best wrestling in the world. They are convinced that WWE is the best wrestling in the world. And to them, Danhousen doesn't represent the best wrestling of the world. He represents what's worst about wrestling in the world.
The funniest wrestling.
I hate that because I'm a firm believer.
I think he's cool too.
I'm a firm believer that there is a place in wrestling for everything. The comedy needs to be there. I want to be entertained, and this is entertaining. Listen, you just can't go off of one thing and go, well, that stunk and this guy stinks too. Like, give it a second. That's the thing. I don't think
what Danhousen doesn't do anything logical. He's not coming out there, folks. He's not coming out there with light tubes and a fish tank. This is not what Moxley does in AEW, where it's just ridiculous. I mean, it does have some semblance of logic. It's not totally outside of the realm of reality.
Yeah.
He's not going out there cutting his head off like a chicken without a head. I mean, there's stuff to hear. I mean, this is not totally outlandish. I don't call it completely indie. I just don't. I don't see it. He's not doing things that are just ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous. He actually believes in this gimmick more than anybody else. And he's going to determine the success of himself in WWE more than anything.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And on a personal level, the guy is a nice guy.
Yeah.
So all success to Danhousen in WWE. But like you said, they're kind of inserting him into this Intercontinental Championship picture. And on Raw, we saw the belt change hands. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Is it time, was it the right time to take the belt off of Dom?
I think so. If they're going to have Dominic Mysterio and Danhousen feuding, and they're going to have Danhousen on a match at WrestleMania. Spoiler alert: he's going to be on WrestleMania. Now, are they going to do a 3-way for the Intercontinental Championship? Dominic Mysterio, Danhousen, and Penta? Are they going to do cool match? Are they going to do Penta and Danhousen? Are they going to do Danhousen and Dom for the? I don't know, but Danhousen's going to be figured into some match at WrestleMania because they're giving him the rocket. Danhousen's getting pushed. It's not like this is not a situation where he's not getting pushed. I will not accept that criticism with Danhousen that he's not getting a push. He is getting a push. Oh, they've altered his character. No, they haven't. That is not an acceptable criticism for Danhousen. It is for other people, but it's not in this case. And Tony was right. Go out. Let's see it on the big stage. Here, we're giving you the ball. Danhousen is given the ball in this case. Same with Penta, but I think he's improved in WWE since he's gotten there, particularly his work in the ring has improved a great deal. But they're giving these guys the ball. Now it's time for them to run in it, and that's what the Intercontinental Championship is doing. It's elevating the stars of tomorrow.
I think that, and this wasn't even on my radar, but I think you nailed it. I think a great way to show that Danhousen is good in the ring too. And I'm not looking for him to be great, okay? I just want him to be good in the ring. To show him to do that and to make it believable and introduce him in the way that he could still do all those spots while still showing that he knows how to wrestle is by putting all three of these guys in the ring for the belt at Mania.
Right.
I think it's perfect. I think that is a great way. You can even go crazier, put the title up above in the ring. You could do that too, because again, Penta and Dom can do some cool stuff.
Yes, they can.
And then you insert, Danhousen doing some crazy kooky things, and this could be an entertaining match. It really, truly does. But my question is this for you. Okay, Dominic Mysterio, where does he go now? Because he doesn't have the IC belt kind of high.
Well, I think he's maybe having a gripe and needs a rematch with Penta, I think is in order. And maybe that takes place at WrestleMania. Clearly, Dominic Mysterio is going to have gripes with Danhousen. He cursed him on Monday Night Raw. So there's something with these three in the Intercontinental title picture. I think that's where you go with them next.
Do you look back at Dominic's run as IC champ and say that it was a cowardly run?
He was injured, he was injured like 60% of the time, right?
Well, you got to think, and a lot of times, when he was defending that belt, I mean, he didn't win it in the best of ways, guys.
No. Does Dominic feel like a bigger star now? Does he feel elevated?
Absolutely.
Okay, then it was achieved. Done.
I think
the
it was
Intercontinental
achieved as well.
Championship is supposed to do.
I agree.
Okay.
I think so.
There it is.
I think so.
He feels more elevated.
All right, so let's talk about Rollins and Raw and him attacking.
Okay.
What went down with that?
They're doing something. Rollins continuing with the vision.
You don't sound too convinced that you're excited about where this is headed, bro.
No, I just think it's Rollins feeding with the vision. And then I don't know what they're going to do with Becky now. I feel like if you're not going to have Becky and AJ, but is Becky even going to be a heel anymore? Or are they going to pair up with Rollins? That's the bigger issue.
Yeah. What about this ambulance spot? I thought that was kind of silly, right? I mean,
dude, they're overusing the ambulance a bit too much.
What are we doing here? Like,
it's a little ambulatory.
This is goofy.
And I'm tired of the ambulance. Just get rid of it.
Where's Jimmy Uso? Let's get you doing something. Where's LA Knight? Let's get you doing something. It's like they're just like kind of grasping at straws here. It's a little silly.
The Usos are free falling. They should just be a tag team and just let it be that.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing Seth Rollins. We're obviously seeing this whole feud with the Vision kind of come to light here. But my question, and again, I said I wanted to hold off on this talking about Becky Lynch. I think that there's a really, really good opportunity here to have Becky Lynch take like a dark heel turn. Like she becomes almost unhinged. And while Seth Rollins is trying to get his revenge, Becky Lynch is right there with him, and they're both on the cusp of just losing their mind.
Rollins is a babyface, not a heel.
But they don't have to. Remember, there is a place for a cool heel, man. And I think you can do it with them because people love both of them. You put them as that power couple. But at the same time, she's doing her thing, he's doing his thing, and you can have them kind of mirror against each other, correct?
I guess. I think they would just rather have Rollins and Lynch together, paired up together, and have them be the ultimate baby faces going after the heel Vision.
Yeah. Do you think that Seth Rollins has an opportunity to show off that unhinged side? Because we know he's
not
got
right
it.
now.
Yeah.
Not right now because he's going after the Vision and he's got to go after Heyman.
Yeah.
He has gripes with Heyman, so he has to solve it.
Yeah. So speaking of this ambulance spot we saw, do you think that there is a hidden alliance between LA Knight and Seth Rollins, or do you think it's storylines blending here?
Storylines blending, and they're just trying to do something with LA Knight. It feels like he's free falling. They just want him involved with the vision. He's kind of that gnat flying around, and he's that ultimate baby face, and it's like DDP with the NWO. He's just that baby face kind of always swirling around.
Yeah, I agree with you. So obviously a lot happened on Raw, a lot happened on SmackDown, but there is one clear thing that we need to talk about.
Oh, there's a lot that we got to talk about here. So Cody Rhodes defeated Drew McIntyre for the Undisputed Championship.
Sure did.
Jacob Fatu was involved in this match, and there's a potential maybe Drew gets suspended and he's not even wrestling at WrestleMania. So I'm going to give you all the following scenarios, and I want everybody to say which scenario they think is going to happen.
Cool. I love this.
Okay.
This is a choose your own adventure, guys.
Right, here we go. Is it going to be Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, and Drew McIntyre, a four-way like it was at WrestleMania 2000? Is it going to be Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton in a triple threat? Is it going to just be Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre in a singles match for the title in the main event? Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu are going to be in a singles match? Or is it going to be Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton while Drew McIntyre is suspended?
I will give you my answer.
Okay.
Suspended.
I think it's going to be Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, and I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
And then
Split it up.
And then I think come SummerSlam, then you get your either four-way or your three-way, and then you get the match that we were hoping to see at Mania. But I think this way builds it a little bit more, sets it up a little bit more, and that's the reason why I feel like Randy does not win at Mania.
I'm with you there. Ryan, what scenario do you pick?
I am going with what Tony said. I don't want to see a fatal four-way or a triple threat match. I want to see Cody and Randy go at it, especially because of their ties to like legacy and all that stuff too. I would rather see that and then see the next week, see something like Drew just comes in and fights whoever wins the title.
Okay, here's the answer to this question. Where's Drew McIntyre's rematch for the belt? Because here it is. Sami Zayn cut a promo on SmackDown and said, wait. Cody gets a title match, even though he just lost in the chamber to Randy.
Yeah.
And then Drew is going to gripe about the fact, oh, wait, where's my rematch? Hold on a second. Where's my rematch? So the only way you're going to write off is you're suspended. You don't get to compete at WrestleMania, but he still gets a rematch for the belt. Or does Drew get his rematch before Mania, or is his rematch at WrestleMania in a three-way?
What are we 6 weeks away from Mania?
Yeah.
So there's still a lot
of time
that can happen.
Right.
Is there a PLE before Mania?
I don't think so.
Okay. So we have 6 weeks of Raw and SmackDown to really build a story to tell if we'll see Drew and Jacob in the picture at Mania. There is easily a way for this to happen.
Yes.
Like there is easily a way in the wrestling timeline where we could see this happening. However, I just think, and by the way, we could see a quote unquote blow off championship rematch for Drew. Like we could see that next week even.
Yeah.
You know, and that could just be a blow off where something happens. Sammy gets involved. Now we've got this storyline going on. You know, something could happen there. But there are plenty of scenarios to where we can see Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, or both of them being inserted into the championship picture before Mania, right? I mean, there's a bunch of different scenarios. If you could, again, put on that fantasy booker hat, Brody, what do you want to see at Mania? Do you still want to see that match that you originally had said, the triple threat match, or do you think that there's an opportunity here for Randy Orton to get his moment at Mania?
I think Randy Orton is not winning at WrestleMania. I think he loses. I don't think he gets 15. It doesn't make any sense for him. I think Cody retains the belt at WrestleMania if it is Cody and Randy. If they insert Jacob or Drew, it could be either one of them, depending on where the momentum is swinging for WrestleMania, and then they could do something leading into SummerSlam. I'm starting to lean towards Cody and just have Cody and Randy face each other at WrestleMania and just have Cody beat Randy, and then just have Drew and Jacob go at each other. And you're right. What are you going to do in those 6 weeks? I think you build up Cody and Drew to have a rematch at some point and have Cody win it and have it in a big city, whether it's on SmackDown or Raw, just have it in a big city and have Cody retain and just close that chapter with Drew. Drew probably will get suspended. I don't know how long the suspension is going to be in storyline. And you do have Drew and Jacob wrestle each other at WrestleMania, and it is just having Cody and Randy in the main event and having Jacob and Drew being a featured match, but not in the main event. I
think I love that because I think
well.
what you do at Mania is you say the winner of that, and again, we're building up to this, the winner of that Fatu Drew McIntyre match gets a shot at the champion.
That's right.
Number
one
at SummerSlam,
match.
at SummerSlam or at Money at the Bank or wherever that may take place.
Right.
You already have built that up. Now, here's something that I've been seeing people saying and reacting to Cody winning, on SmackDown. Here we go again. Here's
the problem. Why did you put the only problem I have with the Randy Cody main event just being them singles? Why did you put the belt on Drew in the first place?
Right. It seems like it's a wasted title reign for
That's
Drew.
it.
Like he's not a placeholder, guys. We have talked about placeholders. Okay, as far as when
he
you're
may be a
transferring
placeholder of how this all shakes out.
I know, and that is devastating, man. Because Drew McIntyre is a badass. When Drew McIntyre is in the ring, there is part of me that goes, I think this guy's really kicking the crap out of him. He is that guy. He is him. To hell with Carmelo Hayes saying he is him. Drew McIntyre is him. And he has proven through and through that he is him. And then they just do this, and it better really make sense in the story at the end when we close the chapter on Mania, because I just can't see it right now, and it's driving me crazy.
That's why we have to have Drew somehow still involved in the title picture for it not to feel like a placeholder. And that's the one thing about Paul Levesque, too. Is it just like, okay, we've beaten Drew so much, just give him the belt because we keep beating him so much, and then, okay, fine, just have it for a little while to shake things up, and we'll eventually just put the belt back on Cody.
I like Cody Rhodes. I really do. I'm just starting to get, okay, this is going to be a very, very strong comparison, and don't hold me from
that's fine.
Okay, I'm starting to get like Hulkamania vibes from Cody Rhodes.
Right.
Like, I'm done with it, man. Do something else.
Everybody's
man.
been feeling that way too.
Do something else. Like, I would love to see a heel run from Cody Rhodes. And maybe that's what we're building up with this whole
who's
Sami
your top
Zayn
baby
thing.
face then in the company to take that mantle?
I don't have an answer,
and that's
Brody.
the problem.
And
they
that's
don't
why
have the
I'm
answer
so
either.
excited. And that's why I'm so excited that we're on this side of things, because I don't envy any of the guys that are behind the scenes writing this. I don't envy folks like Jeff Jarrett who are putting on these events.
Right.
I don't envy those people at all, because it's tough for me to sit
decisions.
there and create a scenario, and I have free reign to do whatever I want because I'm not trying to appease the people. So when they write these storylines and we're getting these deep build outs to Mania, it's something that, again, we have to continue to remember. We are still 6 weeks away from Mania, and literally anything can happen.
To be honest, I thought Randy Orton and Trick Williams were going to have a match at WrestleMania, and then Randy Orton just beat the crap out of Trick Williams on SmackDown, and just like, what?
Does that bury Trick? I was going to say, does that bury Trick make him look weak?
Does. Yeah, it does. Because everyone's like, what? Wait a minute. Okay, Randy Orton's in the main event of WrestleMania, and then Trick comes out here. Oh, RKO boom. And like, oh, okay. And goodbye. I don't even think Trick should be on WrestleMania now anymore. Just completely have him off of TV, but just completely have him evaporate for a little while and just have him in the background. Because all people are going to remember is that. So just have him evaporate. Just for a little while. And then bring him back in Money in the Bank and have him in the Money in the Bank match.
So, Brody, and I know this is a tough question to ask you on the spot here, but if you had to give me your best prediction of, let's say they go, oh, guys, we got to move everything up. Mania's next weekend. What to you would be a solid, you don't have to give me the whole card, obviously, but what are some matches that you think that we would see at Mania if Mania was next weekend to build like an awesome Mania card?
I think it would be CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the Undisputed Championship, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship, Raw Women's World Championship. So we got our 4 title matches. I would say for the U.S. title, who's Carmelo Hayes going at at WrestleMania? Oh.
What if it's Lesnar? What if it's 2 open challenges?
No. We're not going that far. We're not going that far.
I like what Carmelo Hayes has been doing with this belt, though. I really do. Is it Ilya? Did they do the Ilya Carmelo Hayes match there?
No, I think it's going to be a veteran. If you're going to do it at Mania and have it even involved at all. What veteran do I choose, though? Do you go Sammy? Do you just pick a Sammy? Do you pick some type of veteran wrestler?
Or do you do a real shock and you go Austin Theory?
Oh, No, they're not going to. It's going to not maybe unless they want to give Austin Theory a belt and make it a part of the Vision.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's not a bad pick.
Get some gold on the Vision. You have Austin Theory.
Would you have
come
Carmelo
out
Hayes lose at WrestleMania though?
I don't know.
That's the question.
Because I like what they're doing with the belt, but I also, at this point, really don't care who holds it as long as they continue to do the open challenge.
And as long as the matches are still fire.
Yeah, the matches were great. That match last night on SmackDown was fantastic. I don't know.
Here's one. Wait a minute. Here's one. Would you do Matt Cardona versus Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship?
I don't hate that.
I don't hate that either.
I don't hate that at all.
To be good.
I think they would put on a good match.
Yeah,
I think they would.
And I think that's an entertaining WrestleMania match. And you finally give, Long Island
more
IZ
entertaining than Aleister Black.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I agree with you. You get Long Island IZ, his WrestleMania moment. There you go.
He's not going to win it, though.
No, but you still give him a moment out there. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think it'd be great.
All right, so we've got so much looking forward to in wrestling. Again, we got 6 weeks headed to Mania, so we'll dive into all of that as we get closer. But Brody, okay, let's just I don't even want to call this a beat the brain. This is just a, hey, Brody, tell me if I'm right or wrong about these facts, because that's how this works.
Okay.
So I say every time I'm going to give you a very easy example question to start off. Okay.
Fine.
Everything this week is revolved around Jeff Jarrett.
Of course.
What is Jeff Jarrett's signature musical instrument that he smashes over
Guitar.
the heads of opponents? Correct. All right, here we go. We're diving into it now.
Okay.
They get a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
Before making his in-ring debut, what official role did Jeff Jarrett perform on his father's Continental Wrestling Association?
Before entering the ring, he performed various roles, but I mean, he did everything. I mean, there's nothing that he didn't do. So he worked. I don't know if he did concessions or not, but he sold merchandise at the merch table. He set up the ring. He was a photographer. He maybe even managed. I don't think
close.
He did.
You're almost there. The answer I'm looking for. What is the next progression?
Referee.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. I mean, I know
he did everything.
He did everything, but they're saying his first wrestling thing was being a referee.
Okay.
In 1999, Jeff Jarrett made history by becoming one of the few men to hold 2 WWF championships at the same time. What were they, and what did he call himself?
I know he held the Intercontinental Championship and the European Championship.
Bingo. What did he call himself?
He called him the champion of all champions.
At this particular time, he called himself the Eurocontinental Champion.
Oh, that's stupid.
The Eurocontinental Champion.
Oh, that was so stupid.
Okay, so in May of 2002, Jeff Jarrett co-founded a new wrestling promotion. What was the full official title of the new wrestling promotion?
Total Nonstop Action Wrestling.
It says here it was NWA's Total Nonstop
Okay, that's
Action
true,
Wrestling.
because at the time, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship was featured on TNA through 2007.
Yep, that was a tricky one. I wanted to try and fool you there.
Okay.
Jeff Jarrett is a member of 2 major wrestling Hall of Fames. In what year was he inducted into the WWE?
2018.
You are correct.
2018.
You are correct.
Yep.
During his Double J era in the WWF, he had a song called With My Baby Tonight. But unfortunately, Jeff wasn't the one singing it.
Road Dogg.
You are correct, sir.
Road Dogg sang it.
It was Road Dogg.
It was Road Dogg.
All right, a little bit harder here before we get out of here, okay? Jeff Jarrett, a 4-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Yes. Remarkably, how many days did it take him to accumulate all 4 of those title reigns?
90 days.
Dude, 43. Isn't that crazy? He had
Vince
4 reigns
Russo
in
loved Jeff Jarrett.
Days.
Vince Russo loved Jeff Jarrett.
Can you imagine? You won the title 4 times in less than 2 months. Unbelievable.
Vinny Roo.
I would have had no idea this answer. This one was completely above my pay grade. Who was the opponent Jeff Jarrett defeated in a tournament final at the 2004 Rey de Reyes event to become the first ever American to win at the AAA trophy?
Dr. Wagner.
Latin Lover. I had no idea.
No idea.
I knew, dude. I will literally show you. I have a star next to this, and I put no way. That was the one question. I'm like, no way.
I don't this answer. Anybody gotten that right.
I don't even know if he would have got that right.
I don't think he would have gotten that right. Anybody would have gotten that right. No.
Okay, so Jeff is known as a 6-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
He's also a 6-time Intercontinental Champion.
He sure is. He was actually stripped of the title on one occasion in 2004 following a match against what wrestler? Very controversial match here.
Oh, my God.
And the title was stripped of him.
Was it against Ron Killings?
No.
No.
Think other, TNA absolute greats.
AJ Styles?
It was AJ Styles.
It was AJ,
It
okay.
was, yep. In 2014, Jarrett founded Global Force Wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, Global Force. Before the promotion officially ran its own shows, he would appear on New Japan as a member of what faction?
Was it the Bullet Club?
It was.
It was the Bullet Club, okay.
Yep. And then finally, Brody, you know who Jeff Jarrett used to be a babysitter for, or who used
Swift.
to babysit Jeff Jarrett's kids?
Taylor Swift.
Correct. How many number one hits as of this month does Taylor Swift have on the Hot 100 Billboard charts all time?
Gosh, I'm not a Swiftie, but I would say 30 all time.
Ooh, you are an overachiever. 14 number one hits. 14 number one hits on the Billboard Hot 100 for Taylor Swift, which is an unbelievable accomplishment.
There are people that would know that. I
know. I listen, I'm not a Swiftie either. Damn good entertainer. Great music. Not for me.
Great music.
Brody, give people the details one more time about the raffle that we've got going on, that you've got
Yes,
up.
absolutely. That is bcraffles.com, BCRAFFLES.com. BCRaffles.com. WWE SmackDown giveaway, April 3rd, Enterprise Center, 6:30 p.m. Enter a chance to win 2 tickets, free parking, and a $150 WWE gift card.
Absolutely fantastic. Great opportunity. That's BCRaffles.com. Brody, we've been talking a lot about Jeff Jarrett. Give them the details as far as the documentary one more time, where they can watch it and all that.
That's right. The Jeff Jarrett story, Heart of a Promoter, on the My World YouTube channel. Listen to new episodes of My World every single Tuesday at 5 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. So you can wake up right in the morning, and on your way to work, you can listen to an episode of My World on Tuesdays. So an absolute treat.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, we are very excited to continue Wrestling on the Spectrum here on Podcast Heat and, of course, on the YouTube channel. Make sure that you're following us on our socials, and you can watch live. You can check in on the chat. You can participate in the show every Saturday live at 11 a.m., not only here on the YouTube, but also we will be on Podcast Heat. This has been Wrestling on the Spectrum. That was Brody the Brain Herman. Over there, Flyin Ryan Swingler. My name is Tony Patrico. We will talk to you guys next week, 11 a.m., right here on Wrestling on the Spectrum.